Good morning, everybody. My name is Rodolfo Hernandez Guerrero on behalf of the University of Texas at Dallas Intercultural Programs. We welcome you to attend the first virtual session for new international students who are going to join us at UT Dallas in the spring 2023. Welcome to UT Dallas. Congratulations on your admission. We know that has been a very challenging process for many of you to be able to meet all the expectations in terms of the admission process. And not only that, selecting the best institution for you. In that respect, we know that you have choices and you have been selecting UT Dallas for many reasons, and we are highly grateful for that choice. So thank you for selecting UT Dallas as your next institutional educational institution destination. We want to ensure on behalf of intercultural programs that you will have a smooth transition from your home communities to your new community, the UT Dallas community. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yes. This virtual session is related to the first next steps for new international students. So what are the next steps for you after your admission to UT Dallas? Certainly, in general, that implies that you will be here physically in person at the beginning of this semester, before the beginning of the spring 2023 semester. But for that reason, we have designed this virtual information session so you may have the basic elements to be able to be strategic in the whole process, moving from your home community to the UT Dallas community. So some of the specific logistics for this virtual information session are reflected here in this slide. Well, you can really acknowledge the fact that you will be able to see you, will be able to hear you, but we cannot see you or hear you. You will be able to hear us and you see us. So that means that we'll be presenting, and certainly we want to be interactive as much as possible. And for that reason, we'll be opening a question and answer section at the end of the presentation. So you will be able to present your questions in the chat, and that chat will be open at the end of this presentation. The event itself is expected to last for about 60 minutes. But certainly, if we have specific questions that we need to elaborate and to ensure that you have what you need to really start getting ready for your transition to the UT Dallas community, certainly we'll be happy to spend more time with presenting answers, recommendations, and the best practices to ensure that you have a smooth transition from your home community to the UT Dallas community. This virtual information session is being recorded and will be posted within the next couple days, 48 business hours or so, in our YouTube channel. All right, so this YouTube channel will be reflected in the UT Dallas Intercultural Programs webpage in the section for International Student Orientation Spring 2023. So welcome to visit the webpage, and certainly there you will find the hyperlink of this virtual information session for the YouTube channel. So you will be able to review this session later and also to share with your colleagues who as well may be coming to UT Dallas in the spring 2023. Next slide, please. Next slide. So again, welcome to UT Dallas. Thank you for joining us. And now I would like to introduce Emilia Samaripa, Director of Global Engagement at the University of Texas at Dallas.
Thank you, Rodolfo. Hello, welcome, and thank you for taking the time to join us today. We really hope that you will enjoy this session. Congratulations on your decision to study at UT Dallas. My name is Leticia Samarripa. I'm Director of Global Engagement, and I am in charge of the Intercultural Programs Office, which I will explain in a minute what we do and how can we serve you. Our unit, just as reference for you, reports to the Dean of Student Office here at UT Dallas, and we are part of a whole division that is called Student Affairs. This is the first of a series of live information sessions to complement your international student orientation. We will be recording, as Rodolfo mentioned, each session, and you can go back to the session in the future if you wish, or for some students that were not able to join us, you will be able to see them. The main objective of these sessions is to bring you the opportunity to learn about UT Dallas resources. We do have a lot of resources, and we really hope that by attending these sessions, your answers will be, your questions will be answered. This is very important for us. We want you to feel comfortable asking us questions, and we will do our best to try to resolve your questions. Starting now that you know us, we really hope that you can join us in other future events of this nature, but also some other events that we will explain in a little bit. For this particular session, that is called Next Steps for New International Students, we are going to cover all the steps you need to visualize to make sure you will be successful prior to your arrival to UT Dallas and after your arrival to UT Dallas. Next slide, please. I would like to take a moment to share who the professional staff of our department is. And first, Rodolfo, you already met him. He was speaking at the beginning. He's our assistant director. We also have Anthony Cahill, program coordinator, Raven Battles, program coordinator, and we also have 3 wonderful student workers that help us in many ways. Their names are Jetty, Suhail, and Rukish Hedge. So we really would like to explain a little bit in a minute what we do and what can we do for you. Next slide, please. Here at UT Dallas, we are home of over 5,000 international students, and we are very proud of this. We are the #1 university in Texas hosting international students. Therefore, you will find when you get here that you will be studying in a very multicultural campus. And we are sure that this will enrich your student experience significantly. It is actually a privilege to be surrounded by so many cultures. We have over 100 cultures represented here at UT Dallas, and that is amazing. Concerning our mission specifically, we divide it in 2. The first one is to support the integration of international students into campus life. That is you. And this is why we are here. We want to support you in all the steps you need to take to come to campus and integrate into campus life. And for that reason, we offer transitional programs such as orientation and other activities, as much as we support students all year long. So always feel free to reach out to us. We can guide you into the right direction. If we cannot solve it ourselves, at least we can guide you into the right direction. Another part very important of our mission is to promote global engagement among the UT Dallas community, encouraging appreciation for the diverse culture that we have on campus. And for that reason, we offer intercultural and cultural programs and events all year long. You will learn more about it in a little while. We will now start presenting the specifics of the session, including the services that we offer, And the first topic you will hear about is international student orientation. We will give you some information that will help you to register and to follow up into those steps. Now, I would like to clarify something that is very important for you. We offer the international student orientation that is mandatory for all new international students, but you might hear about other orientations. I just want to make a clarification that some schools, not all, in addition to this orientation, they will offer an academic orientation. That has to do more with your program, how to be successful academically, which steps you need to take. So please, when you receive from UT Dallas instructions to register for orientation, make sure you understand the nature of that orientation. Is it the general student, international student orientation, which is all, or is it from a department that is requiring you to attend some specific session? We do recommend that you attend all, and you will be better prepared to come to UT Dallas and be successful. So I would like to start the session. In more in specific, I would like to call our colleague Anthony Cahill, who will be presenting to you some topics, and later on, Raven, our other program coordinator, will also present part of the topics we would like to discuss with you. Again, welcome, and we'll be here.
Okay, next slide, please. Hi, everybody. I'm Anthony Cahill, Program Coordinator with ICP. You're all very welcome to UT Dallas. I'm excited for you all to start this journey with us. So the first service that we offer, and the first time you will all interact with us as a department, Intercultural Programs, in person, will be through International Student Orientation. As Leticia said, thank you for that reminder, Leticia. This orientation is separate from your academic orientations and any other orientations such as teaching assistant orientation or other graduate student orientations that you might be attending. So registration is already open, I believe, as of November 1st. Registration opened up. You can find a link to that on our website, icp.utdallas.edu, and you can also find that in your Orion portal. It will take you right there. So this orientation is a requirement for all incoming F1 and J1 graduate and exchange students. Cannot be waived, and we will have to have you attend that orientation in some form. And so this orientation is a requirement for all of our F1 and J1 students, graduate and exchange. However, if you are an incoming freshman or transferring from another institution, it is optional. You will have your own freshman orientation or transfer student orientation, and then this orientation can be used as a supplement to that orientation experience. There will be some topics that we will cover in this international student orientation that's different than what you'll hear in freshman and transfer orientation, as those are kind of primarily aimed at your domestic students. So we do recommend that our international freshmen and transfer students attend both orientations if they are able to do so. And then again, this is optional for students with other types of visas. So if you're on an H visa per se, then this would be an optional orientation for you, but also a great orientation to come in and learn about some international and intercultural perspectives that can help you along your journey at UT Dallas. So you can learn more about this orientation and find those links to registration in our webpage, which is icp.utdallas.edu. And we will be sharing that with you. All of the links in this presentation will be shared at the end in the Q&A session. So next slide, please. Thank you. So as part of your orientation, we have the pre-arrival modules. These are intended to be completed before you have left your home country, before you have arrived in the United States, and before completing online orientation. I'm sorry, in-person orientation. These will be completed online in e-learning. You can go to elearning.utdallas.edu and you will log in with your student credentials and you'll find them right there. Once you have logged on, or I'm sorry, once you have registered for orientation, you will be able to start completing those pre-arrival modules. A lot of people, a lot of our students, I think misunderstand that these might be optional, or if you only have to complete one or the other. But do be advised that we do require completion of the online pre-arrival modules and the in-person international student orientation. They're both compulsory and required in order to fulfill that institutional requirement. So once you've completed those online pre-arrival modules, you're ready for international student orientation, and we will be having 3 sessions. So for those of you who arrive early to the United States, as you are entitled to arrive up to 30 days prior to the start of classes, if you've arrived that early, you can come to our first international student orientation, which will be just before Christmas on the 21st of December. And then for anyone else arriving later, closer to the start of classes, we will have 2 sessions back-to-back with dates, the 10th and the 11th of January. And again, that registration is available in Orion. The UT Dallas mobile application will also be very important for both orientation and then also your journey here at UT Dallas. You can find that on the App Store or on Google Play or by following this link below to the UTD app. It will be a central place to access international student orientation and other UTD resources. Next slide, please. Okay, and then again, some reminders. You'll learn in your journey here at UT Dallas, if you're not familiar with higher education in the United States, higher education is very decentralized, meaning that each department or office of the university has its own speciality, and there is very little overlap between the departments. So this might be different from more centralized institutions, depending on where you're from. You know, I did all of my graduate degrees in Ireland, and when I was there, my master's and PhD supervisor was kind of the main point of contact that was able to help me really with everything I needed. This isn't the case at UT Dallas. Of course, all of us in staff and faculty are very happy to help you as the best as we can and to point you in the right direction if you need to talk to another office, but each office's specialty is separate. So that being said, if you have any questions about visa status, please contact the International Students and Scholars Office, or the ISSO. So if you have any questions about your F1 status or F1 applications, you can email isssoperspective@utdallas.edu or contact them through your iComment portal. And likewise, if you're a J1 student and you have questions about your J1 status or need J1 advice, you can email issoj1@utdallas.edu. And I believe you can access them through your comment portal as well. But that is the International Students and Scholars Office. If you do email us about your visa status, we're happy to point you towards the ISSO. But unfortunately, we cannot provide any specific or in-depth information about visa applications, as that is their specialization. Next slide, please. We do have an abundance of pre-arrival resources for you, courtesy of Intercultural Programs on our website. Again, that's icp.utdallas.edu. You can click on the resources tab and the pre-arrival resources, and you'll find all of this information. We have a very comprehensive new international student checklist. There are so many steps for you to complete, so many steps for all new students, but especially for international students. And so we have compiled a checklist of basically everything that you need to do to prepare for your journey here at UT Dallas up until the point that classes begin, including visa applications. So you can find that checklist on our website. Again, there's all of these information sessions. You can find the schedule on our website. We have many of our partner organizations coming in to talk to you student organizations such as the Indian Students Association and the Friendship Association of Chinese Students and Scholars, as well as some offices on campus, Graduate Education and the Bursar office, who we'll learn about in a minute, and then some partner organizations like Big Howdy, who is aimed at welcoming our new international students here on campus. So these will be great resources, and we encourage you to continue attending. Housing, we have some information about housing up on our website, and I'll talk about housing here in a minute. Travel guide to UT Dallas with all of your information about public transport, as well as if you need to, if you plan on buying a car, if you plan on driving while you're here in the United States, all of that information. Again, Big Howdy, community partner. The new student guide, we have a comprehensive publication of all of this information. You will be given a copy of the guide at your orientation session, but you can also read that online, and it has little bits of information about basically everything we're talking about over the course of these virtual information sessions in our orientation. There are many, many student organizations here on campus. I believe it's over 300. Many cultural organizations. I mentioned the ISA, Indian Students Organization, FACS, Friendship Association of Chinese Students and Scholars. There's a Vietnamese Student Association, Iranian Student Association, and there are also many religious and other cultural student associations, many cultural arts associations and organizations as well. And then a newcomer to North Texas guide can be found as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so housing, a very important one. Where are you going to live? So students can apply for spring 23 on-campus housing. Spaces are assigned for this first come, first served. We encourage you to fill out this application as quickly as possible, as capacity does get reached quite quickly. There are a lot of students here on campus and a lot of students looking to live on campus. They are still accepting applications, but we do want to advise you there is a lot of demand. So at this point in the semester, as it is November, I believe these applications have been open for quite a while. It might be difficult to attain a spot in on-campus housing at this point. So and housing is unable to guarantee anyone a place on campus. So we do encourage our students to consider off-campus resources as well. We provide a list of apartments around campus, located around the campus within a 3-mile radius. So there are many places to live in Richardson that are relatively close to campus, as well as other resources that you may need, like shopping centers and supermarkets. We also have that information about public transport. And there is a bus as service called the Comet Cruiser, Route 883 of the Dallas Area Rapid Transit. We'll cover all of that information later and in later sessions, but there is public transport that can take you directly from spots around Richardson straight onto campus. So don't worry if it's too late for you to get campus housing. There are plenty of accommodation options available, really in all price ranges, and you can find more information about that on our website. And then you can start to search as well in apartment finding websites as well for accommodation around the Richardson area. Next slide, please. Okay. So the TB test, TB or tuberculosis testing is mandatory for all students born outside of the United States. So regardless of where you're coming from, if it's not the United States, you must get a TB test if you've been vaccinated or not. Students must take their TB test in the United States. Unfortunately, we are unable to accept any foreign documentation, regardless of where it comes from. So it could be the National Governing Health Authority. Regardless, we cannot accept that documentation. It must be completed within the United States upon your arrival. So after registering for orientation, you will receive an automated link to register for your TB test through the health center. I believe the fee is $100 to take it on campus. You do not have to take the test on campus. You can take it in with an external health provider, but the cost may be greater. Whereas here on campus, you can take it through the Student Health Center, and that will be a lot easier for you, because if you take it here on campus, then they will be able to update your student records accordingly, and you'll have a few less steps to go through. Whereas if you take the test off campus, you will have to send those results or have those results sent and verify that that step is completed so that we can update your student records accordingly. So we recommend, again, that you complete it on campus, and do complete that test with due diligence, as it does take a couple of days to come through. I believe it takes about 24 hours for the test results to come through, and then it can take at least 1 or 2 business days for your results to be certified through your student portal and for that hold to be removed. So don't delay the completion of your TB test. And if you have any questions, you can contact the Health Center, healthcen@utdallas.edu. Next slide, please. So likewise, health insurance. Some of you may be aware, the rumor is true. Health insurance and healthcare can be very expensive in the United States, especially in comparison to other countries that may have a reduced privatized system or a single payer socialized healthcare system. You do have a healthcare option through UT Dallas, and in fact, it is a really great health plan. So health insurance is required. It is mandatory for all F and J visa international students, F1 and 2, so your dependents, that F2 and J2 would be your dependents. They must have insurance as well if you have them coming with you. You will be enrolled automatically through the Student Health Insurance Plan, the SHIP, and you'll pay for this insurance when you pay tuition and fees. I can tell you, as the Student Health Insurance Plan is the exact same plan for faculty and staff. It is a great plan. It has a low deductible, and it has a lot of really great benefits. So you will be covered very well while you're here in the United States if you go with the UT Dallas SHIP Student Health Insurance Plan. We actually, ICP has a great Instagram presence. So we had an Instagram live session with all of the information about health insurance here in the United States yesterday afternoon at 3. So if you go check us out on Instagram at UTDICP, you can watch that Instagram session. It's me having a conversation with a great colleague, Rebecca Hale from Academic Health Plans. She's talking all about health insurance in the United States, so it'll really tell you everything that you need to know. Again, if you go with SHIP, that insurance is backdated. So regardless of when you arrive in the United States, assuming you arrive after the 1st of January 2023, if you say arrive the 9th of January, if you're going to be covered with SHIP, that insurance is backdated to be effective the 1st of January. So say you arrive the 7th of January and then, God forbid, you have a medical emergency, or if you fall ill because of climate adjustment to the United States and you need to visit a doctor off campus, you can do so and your insurance will be effective. You will be covered and you won't have to pay directly out of pocket for that. And then that will run until May 31st. Insurance here as a student, you're required to update your insurance every semester when you pay tuition. So that will be effective until the 31st of May. You are able to file a waiver and find an external plan. However, be advised, this does not mean that you can waive your insurance altogether and just omit having insurance in the United States. No, you must have some form of health insurance while in the United States. It is impossible to avoid paying for health insurance, unfortunately. So that waiver can be submitted to use an external health insurance plan. However, please do be advised that there are many, many requirements for an external health insurance plan. Again, that Instagram session from yesterday, Rebecca talks a lot about it. there are many stipulations and many requirements that an external plan must meet in order for it to be approved by the university. So just because you identify or sign on for an external health insurance plan does not mean that you're going to be allowed to have it. You'll have to submit that waiver, and you'll have to have the health center at UT Dallas approve that external health insurance plan. So really, your easiest option is just to go with the UT Dallas student health insurance. The next slide, please. So COVID-19. COVID-19 as a government-funded institution. We are a public institution in the state of Texas. We are unable to enforce or require any kind of mask mandate or vaccination policy. So UT Dallas highly encourages members of the university community to wear face masks and follow the Center for Disease Control, or CDC, guidelines about the use of masks and the use of the enforcing of social distancing. However, like I said, as a publicly funded institution, Texas Governor Greg Abbott's Executive Order GA36 prohibits governmental or state-funded institutions and entities from requiring or mandating mask wearing. So we highly recommend it. We highly recommend that you will wear a mask for international student orientation, as you will be sitting in very close confines, but again, we cannot enforce doing so. International travel. Please note that all non-immigrant and non-citizen air travelers to the United States will be required to present full vaccination and provide full proof of vaccination status before arriving or boarding a plane to the United States. Again, as a state institution, we can't enforce you to be vaccinated on campus. We can't enforce you or require you to wear a mask on campus. However, that is a requirement from the United States government that you will have a vaccination against COVID-19 prior to boarding the plane. So for more information about that, please consult the Department of State and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC. Next slide, please. Further about vaccination, like I said, vaccination is not mandatory at UTD. However, it is highly encouraged as soon as possible to be vaccinated. Students, you can book an appointment through a vaccine provider. And once, I believe, if you have insurance, potentially before your insurance is effective, you can get that vaccination if you are able to arrive by plane and not be vaccinated before getting here. Okay, next slide, please. Oh, next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so I already mentioned this earlier. As departments here in the United States higher education institutions are very decentralized. All immigration-related queries can be directed to the International Students and Scholars Office, or ISSO. So their website, and we'll share this with you later, is issa.utdallas.edu, and they provide all immigration service. So they can assist you in processing your immigration forms. They can set up advising appointments, and you can meet with an advisor and ask any questions that you may have. They will have their own kind of orientation, which is your maintaining F1 status workshop. Do be advised, like we've said before, Leticia mentioned, it is separate from international student orientation. So be on the lookout for information coming specifically from the ISSO, helping you register for that F1 status workshop. But that is another requirement that you will have. And then there is also a J1 student orientation for our incoming exchange and visiting students. Next slide, please. So academics, again, because of that decentralization, you'll have to contact your academic advisor to register for classes, and really all queries about academics and academic progressions. You'll have a separate academic advisor from your international student advisor. You'll have an advisor through the ISSO. Likewise, you'll have an academic advisor through your academic departments who can help you register for classes, assess your degree plans, talk about course requirements and course registrations and prerequisites, and really anything you need to know about your academics. There will be a separate academic advisor to help you along that way. To find your program advisor, you can visit the Academic Programs website, choose your college and your major and your degree level, and do check all of that information. Do make sure to look up your degree plan and see if, your academic program, and see if they have their own website and their own orientation and any information that you might need to know that will be found on your academic department's website. And again, because of the decentralized nature of this institution, we will not be able to advise you of any specific requirements for your academic program. Those will come specifically from your academic department. Next slide, please. Okay, so holds. If a student does not meet an institutional requirement, such as the International Student Orientation or the TB test, a hold will be assigned to your Orion account by the first day of classes. So a hold on your student account prevents you from registering for classes. To view all of these holds, you can use your net ID and password to log into Galaxy into your Orion portal, into your Orion Student Center. Click on holds and you'll be able to see all of the existing ones on your account. Be advised that each hold is assigned by a different department, and only the department that assigns the hold will be able to remove the hold. So if you click on each individual hold, you can see more information about what that specific hold is, where it has come from, and who has put it on your account and why. So because only the assigning department can remove the hold, you must contact that department to see what needs to be done in order to remove the hold, and ensure that you complete that requirement and you verify it with that department so that they may remove the hold. If you contact ICP about your TB test hold, say you don't complete the TB test on time and you receive a hold and are unable to register for classes, if you contact us to ask about removing that hold, all we can tell you is that you must contact the health center. Likewise, if you have not completed International Student Orientation and you have not been able to register for classes, if you contact your academic advisor asking them to remove that hold, they will tell you that unfortunately you must contact ICP, and then we're going to tell you that we can't remove your hold until you complete orientation. So do gain a familiarity with those holds and how to avoid them, because really the easiest way to just avoid the matter altogether is to make sure that you've completed all institutional requirements. And again, we have a checklist up on our website. Go and take a look at that. That will have all of your institutional requirements. And if you complete everything on that checklist in a timely manner, then you will not have put yourself in a predicament to assign these holds or to receive these holds at all. So next slide, please. Okay, so the last piece of information I have for you is about your tuition and fees. So you'll receive a bill for this after you've registered for classes. You are not required, nor are you able to pay your tuition prior to registering for classes. We are a per credit hour institution. So whereas some institutions, and I know a lot of foreign institutions, you pay one flat rate for your tuition per semester, regardless of how many classes you take or which kind of program you're in. Here at UT Dallas, you pay per credit hour. You pay depending on the more you pay depends on how many classes you're taking, and also I believe what type of degree you're in and what program you might be in. So your tuition will come to you after you've registered for classes. For more information on that, you can contact the bursar office. Again, because of that decentralization, we can help you find the bursar office. We can help you with very general information about tuition, but if you have specific information about your tuition and your fees, and as they pertain to you personally, you'll want to contact the bursar office. So that's, I believe, bursar.utdallas.edu. We'll share with that link with you, and you can get in touch with the bursar And then if you need information about payment deadlines and viewing the specific academic calendar, you can do so as well with them, and you can look up financial aid, as there are a couple of financial aid options and they can help you with them. There will be a specific bursar information session, I believe, later this month, and there will be a fantastic colleague from the bursar office leading the session, and she will be able to tell you everything you need to know about what her office can do for you and what you need to know about paying your tuition fees and financial aid in advance of coming here to UT Dallas. So with that being said, now we'll talk to you about arriving in Texas and what you can look forward to post-arrival. So for that, I would like to introduce my colleague, Raven Battles.
Hello, future comments. I look forward to welcoming you in person at our International Student Orientation soon and begin some conversations. Next slide, we'll go ahead and talk about your arrival here in Texas. So I'm excited to welcome you to my great state here in Texas. And one of the ways that we want to help prepare you is by giving you some information of what do you do once you get off the plane, right? So one of our great community partners you'll be able to get introduced to in another virtual session is Big Howdy. And they have organized airport pickups for students. This is based on registration, so you will have to go to their website, utdbighowdy.com, and find more information about when they're opening their Big Howdy airport pickup registration. And from there, you simply complete their form, and then you can go ahead and get scheduled to having that transportation from the airport to the UT Dallas campus. Also, like was mentioned, housing can fill up quickly. And so we do want to point you to our resources tab that is located in our website, where you can find a list of hotels as well as some residence suites nearby that may accommodate you in that in-between period for looking for housing if you do arrive on campus early, as well as starting to get situated as you do complete maybe some of your post-arrival checklist items, with housing being one of them as well. So we do have some resources available that can be a quick guide that can at least start your research process and hopefully answer some of those questions that you may have along the way. So next slide, please. Continuing on, like we mentioned, we have a couple of means of transportation. If you don't end up using the airport pickups, we do also have the DART system. That is going to be the main public transportation system in the DFW, that's Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. If you are arriving in the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, or DFW Airport, Terminal A does have a DART station access point. So for $6, you can use that DART system to get you into the Dallas area. Also, another great resource that you may want to go ahead and have downloaded on your smartphone in advance is Maps. Google Maps not only will help with campus navigation, but also the Metroplex navigation as well, to kind of get an idea. What I love about Google Maps is that it also will give you the car, bus, walking, bike routes as well. So you can take a look to see several different route and transportation options. So I can tell you, as someone born and raised in Texas, our weather is quite unique and can vary week to week pretty much. And so we do provide you with a what to pack resource through our travel guide on our website as well. And that's going to be great for you in trying to figure out, what items you may want to bring, what items you may want to leave. But particularly when it comes to weather and what to pack, I think you'll find that travel guide is particularly helpful. Next slide, please. So a couple of other opportunities to ease your transition into the not only UT Dallas culture, but also Texas and US culture. Like was mentioned, we have our international student orientations. The 3 dates were presented earlier. We also encourage you to check out our website. Make sure that you are registered for those orientations. We're going to provide great information. You can meet the team, and that'll be beneficial and as you begin your journey here at UTD. We have as like this information sessions that we'll be hosting on Teams leading up to the international student orientations as well. I will display a slide here and soon that will give you the general calendar of those so you can mark them as well. Another great social event that we will have, again, with the collaboration with our UT Big Howdy partner, and that is our Big Howdy Welcome Party. Again, more information will be shared about that soon, but pretty much this is a great opportunity for you to not only connect and engage with new international students like yourself, but also some of the outside campus, the other community partners that UTD and ICP has typically partnered with that brings more information and how to get connected with the DFW area. Great information and resources they provide, furniture giveaways as well. So a lot of great information, again, you can find on the Big Howdy website. But we do encourage you to attend that welcome party. Really good way to start getting an idea of who your peers will be on campus as well. If you are planning to bring your spouse or your children, any dependents with you as you continue on with your curriculum here at UT Dallas, we have a great resource partner that has our International Spouse and Family Group. Pretty much the means of communication with that group is found on Facebook, so you can get active and involved. We just had a Halloween themed party with members in the fall. And so we'll be bringing back unique opportunities as well for you to engage and connect. One of the big things that we are geared towards international students here with ICP is providing you with resources, engagement, and connection. And so pretty much any of our transitional programs, from orientation to welcome events to those individualized groups, are again to provide you with resources that will help you be successful, help encourage that engagement so that you have that connection as you do progress throughout your journey here. So next slide, please. I will display the upcoming virtual information sessions there. You can check out, again, this is published on our website as well. Go ahead and plug those into your calendar. They're going to be very helpful in providing you with even more detailed, specific information that was shared in today's session. Next slide, please. So some other ways that we can provide student support is by connecting you to university resources. Some of those resources will also be presented during International Student Orientation, as well as through some of our other virtual programming, which I will share with you here soon. And really, again, our task is to provide resources for students to succeed at UT Dallas, and that's with all of our campus departments. Here, we're trying to, really focus on providing that specific guidance for international students. And so we do have some great resources coming and provided online through our website. So check out all relevant links that can be provided for you. That way you can make sure that you're on the correct path to succeed. Like we mentioned, we have several cultural student organizations on campus as well. And so we want you to connect to those cultural student organizations through the student organization website through UT Dallas. You can see and get an idea of what organizations that you may want to participate in. And so you can definitely get connected. Their content information is provided through you as a student accessing the website as well. And then you'll also get great introductions to some of those organizations through orientation and some of the events that we have planned for you as well in the spring. Next slide, please. So some of the cultural programs that ICP hosts to really help engage with you, not only in making sure that you feel welcomed here on campus, but to also introduce you to some other cultures that you may not have necessarily been engaged with before. One of the programs that we have is our iFriend program. In this program, we pair an international student with a domestic student in order to engage that cross-cultural interactions. And so you'll have the opportunity to learn about U.S. culture from a domestic student here, and then you have the opportunity to share your unique culture with that domestic student as well. I will let you know that it's pretty competitive participation process, as there is a registration required, and while we like to accommodate as many interests as we can, just with the size of the program, we can't accommodate everyone each semester. So definitely when the application opens up on January 17th, we encourage you to apply early. Get in the application if you are interested in the program. We have specific iFriend events, so in activities where only iFriends will participate, but overall we do encourage those participants to engage and interact with each other through on-campus events as well as outside campus programming. That way you're really having a unique opportunity to learn from each other. There are unique opportunities to get training about different communication styles and culture provided through that program as well. You can find more information about the iFriend program on our website as well. Another unique engagement opportunity that we have is also through our iWeek or International Week programming. It's a week filled of events and programs and activities really geared towards showcasing the unique cultural organizations and traditions on campus. Really, we are quite diverse here at UTD, and so this is a celebration week really that highlights that different global diversity that UTD offers. So for 2023, the iWeek will happen the first week of March. You'll get plenty of communication and marketing information about how to participate, as well as where to actually just attend the events as well. Some of our signature events is going to be Passport to the World, pretty much a unique fair where students can go through and get an idea of the different cultures and traditions represented at UT Dallas, as well as our Global Talent Show, where students can then showcase their unique culture, whether that be through dance or through song, different musical avenues as well. So we have a lot of fun here in our cultural programs, and we're really excited to see, your different expressions of culture, and really being able to have your input and imprint on campus by making this place your home as well. And again, more information can be found at utdallas.edu/iWeek. Next slide, please. Our Instagram lives we offer most of the time it's going to be 2 times a week. You can see our comment calendar or go on our website for the upcoming events that we will offer. Anthony mentioned earlier one of the sessions that was done yesterday, Understanding American Health Insurance. What we do is we typically have different interviews with faculty or staff members, as well as with student organizations, again, to provide those resources that will be helpful to you, as well as there's information sessions about just general tips that can be helpful for international students, such as getting over culture shock or where to eat here in the DFW area. Again, follow us at UTD ICP in order to tune in for those sessions. They're hour-long sessions geared with a lot of good information that could be helpful for you. Also, another unique opportunity that we offer through Intercultural Programs is our cultural trips. They're unique experiences where we take students to an off-campus location that will help you explore even more the Texas and DFW culture, whether that be through art, at the Perot Museum, or through sports, maybe attending a Dallas Mavericks game, or even through music, which can be done through our Dallas Opera trip, which we took just this past month as well. Again, another pretty highly competitive program. Once you see registration is available, we encourage you to apply. The sooner the better. More details regarding upcoming spring trips will be shared with you in future correspondences. So do check your emails often. If you see ICP in your inbox, there's going to be some good information for you. And so you don't want to miss out on the opportunity to experience a cultural trip as well. These culture trips are typically paid your way, as well as transportation is often provided too. Next slide. Intercultural competency is also provided through some of our workshops, helping to engage the campus to learn more about different resources regarding leveraging your intercultural competence and communication styles, as well as cultural understanding. A lot of more information can be provided about this trainings, either through the iFriend program or through some of our global engagement activities. Some of those topics are also going to be shared through our Instagram live sessions as well. Next slide, please. And again, just another reminder to follow us on our Instagram in order to be in tune with upcoming events that we have in person as well as through our lives. Next slide. Of course, here's our contact information. There's our email listed first, phone number if you do need to contact us for any questions that you have regarding any part of your transition to the UT Dallas community. Again, those are our social media sites located where we do encourage you to follow us to get the most up-to-date information. And again, like we mentioned, our website, utdallas.edu/ICP, is going to give you the information in connection to those resource guides, as well as provide some of those commonly asked questions that often international students do have as well. So I believe that concludes the content portion. I'll go ahead and hand it back over to our Assistant Director, Rodolfo.
Revin, thank you very much. Anthony, thank you very much. Leticia Samaripa, Director of Global Engagement as well. Thank you very much for this great presentation. I believe we are providing on behalf of UT Dallas Intercultural Programs fundamental tools, helpful tools, tangible tools for you, all of you, to be able to smooth this transition from your home communities to the UT Dallas community. I would like to acknowledge that we are hosting 100 students from around the world today in this virtual information session. So we're very pleased, we're delighted for all of you to be participating. And certainly now we are going to open the questions and answer section of this virtual information. So chat now is open and you will be able to type your questions in the chat. And as team to be able to share helpful links and additional information that it could be helpful for you, and in many instances to be able to answer in a more accurate, direct way your questions, your doubts. So you're welcome to start posting your questions right here. And certainly we have the very first one that is basically the question. Could you please explain about the insurance when we arrive before January? Well, one of the recommendations, that's a great question, because actually the coverage of the health insurance is per semester. And for the specific semester, spring will start on January the 1st up to May the 31st. So this question is about what if I'm going to be in the United States before January the 1st. In that case, we highly recommend you that you purchase complementary insurance on your own. It could be many of the providers that are available here in the United States or even in your home country, to ensure that you have protection between those few days in which you will not have the coverage from the UT Dallas student health insurance. So because this will start on January the 1st. So be proactive, be intentional, and take good care of yourself by having the corresponding coverage in terms of health insurance if you are arriving to the United States, to Texas, before January the 1st. The next question is how to pay the fees in advance before coming to UT Dallas. Well, that's a very common question. Of us, we want to pay right away and to prevent any debts, even before we arrive into the university, to the campus. But in the case of UT Dallas, tuition and fees would be posted after the registration of your classes. So that means that you need to ensure that you have this direct conversation with your academic advisor, who will be the one providing the guidance and the permission, the corresponding permission, to register classes for spring 2023. In other words, you cannot register classes without the guidance of an academic advisor for the first semester. So you need to be patient. You need to really ensure that you have this direct conversation and you present your questions, your interests, and together your academic advisor and you to register those classes. In principle, to be able to register those classes, you need to ensure that you are satisfying any requirement, academic and administrative requirement, for you to start the spring 2023. So after the registration of the classes, you will be able to see exactly what is your tuition and fees, what is a precise amount, and you will be able to pay at UT Dallas. As Anthony mentioned, next week, Intercultural Programs will be hosting the virtual information session on Wednesday, November the 9th, same time, 9 to 10 a.m. U.S. Central Time. The virtual information session will be paying your tuition and fees. So we'll be hosting Champion from the Bursar's office, which is the authority here on campus that handles and manages the collection of tuition and fees from students as a whole. So please join us next week and you will be able to obtain more specific guidance directly from the Bursar's office in collaboration with UT Dallas Intercultural Programs. A question here is how to make an appointment with program advisor. If you go to the main webpage of UT Dallas, you will be able to search for academic programs, and then you will find the specific website of UT Dallas that lists all the academic programs, all the current academic programs offered by UT Dallas. And for each one of them, you will find contact information, including academic advisors. So that will be your first step, and to be able to identify that specific advisor. If for some reason there is no a specific information about the academic advisor, certainly you will find the enrollment team of each one of these programs, and you are welcome to contact them and to request the introduction to your academic advisor to establish the direct communication with each one of them. Keep in mind, in UT Dallas, we have a very solid, bold culture in terms of service. We're here for you. Students are our priority. That's the reason why we're here. And believe me that you will find the expected quality service to ensure that those communications will be in place and you will be with the right person. There's another question here. Thank morning, sir. That says, can I know about transportation fee? I mean, for bus? Well, good news. Public transportation on campus and around the campus is free. You don't have to present any documentation. It's just a courtesy of the UT Dallas community in collaboration with the governmental entities and officers around the campus that provide this support to ensure that international students around the campus and on campus, they will have access to free transportation. So don't worry about that. Certainly, you are going to be traveling 3 miles beyond the UT Dallas campus. You may have to pay a fee for public transportation, but we'll have discounts for you to pay with a student rate, and that is something that you can obtain your specific public transportation bonus, DART bonus, at the Comet card office here at UT Dallas. During the International Student Orientation, we'll be explaining more about that, sharing specific details about how to go around the UT Dallas campus. Thank you. The next question is a TB test required to be taken before attending the International Student Orientation? Great question. The answer is not. We understand the complexity for all of us to be there facilitating your transition, and especially for you, because you will be arriving, you will be expected to meet many institutional requirements. One of them will be the in-person International Student Orientation. And we understand that many of you will be in the process for the TB test, satisfying the TB test requirements, but you are not required to take the TB test before or to have the result of the TB test for the specific attendance of the International Student Orientation. So you are welcome, we understand, and certainly we'll be here to help you and provide you further guidance related to any other institutional requirement upon arrival to UT Dallas. Somebody's asking about scholarships, financial aid. Yes, we do have scholarships, we do have financial aid, but since we had many options in terms of financial aid and scholarships, you need to review the criteria of each one of these scholarships and financial aid programs that in some instances may apply only for domestic students or for Texas students or for everybody, including international students. So I encourage you, I invite you to visit the webpage of financial aid, where you will find a list, a very comprehensive list of scholarships and financial aid programs, and to review the criteria of each one of them to see if you meet these criteria, and if so, perhaps for you to apply to any of these programs and to obtain the financial support that you may require for a successful academic program at UT Dallas. Right, let me review more questions. How do you open a local bank account after you reach UT Dallas? That's a great question. That topic specifically will be covered in the last virtual information session that will be offered, and that is going to happen on Wednesday, December the 14th, which will be offered from 9 to 10 a.m. U.S. Central Time. The topic, the title of this virtual information session will be Preparing for Life in Dallas. And that topic, precisely how to open bank accounts in the United States, will be covered during that information session. But let me give you some advance in that respect. We have a great collaboration and friendship with many of the banking branches around the metro, around the campus actually, and they know that international students may need a support from these banks. So banks around the campus, they're aware that you will be coming, and they will be ready for providing you guidance and providing you a specific service, facilitating opening U.S. banking accounts while you're here attending UT Dallas. Certainly, there are some basic requirements, like you need to ensure that you provide evidence of your identification, passport, your immigration documents. It could be your I-20 or your DS 2019. But certainly you are welcome to attend the virtual information session Preparing for Life in Dallas on Wednesday, December the 14th, and we'll be able to provide more specific information about it. Will the airport pickup service be available during December the 20th to December the 30th, 2022? In principle, yes, we will open for that, but certainly you need to reserve in advance that service for that service. And ultimately, the sponsors of this service, which will be community partners called Big Howdy, named Big Howdy, in collaboration with the student organizations. They will be ultimately the one to really provide you the final guidance in terms of the specific time and dates offering this service. But as has been published in the webpage of Intercultural Programs at UT Dallas, the service for airport pickups will be opened to submit reservations for pickups beginning at the middle of this month of November, mid-November. So please visit the webpage of UT Dallas Intercultural Programs, go to the specific section in terms of transportation, and you will find that specific information. And in fact, I believe that's included in one of the frequently asked questions section, where you will find that information. In addition, Intercultural Programs is sending on frequent basis emails with relevant information and tools for all of you to be able to have access to these tools and to this guidance, including airport pickups. So please be aware about ICP email, icpprograms@utdallas.edu emails, where you will find additional information for a smooth transition. You to a smoother transition from your home community to UT Dallas community. There is one question here in basically regarding the asking for clarification regarding the registration for in-person international student orientation after completing pre-arrival models. As Anthony explained, the successful completion of the international student orientation at UT Dallas includes two components. The first one is the pre-arrival models, which is really helpful information, logistical information, cultural information to ensure that you have a successful trip from your home community to UT Dallas as a final destination. That may include health information, cultural information, relevant information. Those are pre-arrival models, and they are available in the platform of e-learning. So all of you may already have access to these pre-arrival models. So we highly encourage you to log in e-learning and to go to organizations, where you will find the specific organization of pre-arrival models open, and you will find each one of these models. And for you to be able to complete pre-arrival models, you need to pass specific quizzes. At the end, if you pass all the quizzes successfully, a certificate of completion will be displayed. That's for your record. We don't need it unless we're asking for it. We don't need to have that certificate of completion of pre-arrival models. But certainly it's very helpful information. And again, this is the very first component of the international student orientation. The second component is going to be attending the in-person international student orientation. If you visit the website of Intercultural Programs at UT Dallas, you will find a very handy link for the section of international student orientation, where you'll find the instructions for registration to attend the in-person international student orientation in a ride. So please visit the webpage, and I will be requesting my colleagues, Anthony Raven, if you can please provide that link in the chat for this live event of Q&A, and then you can have the direct link to the International Student Orientation webpage of Intercultural Programs at UT Dallas. One question is regarding the pickups again, airport pickups. It will be a charge. Is there a fee for this service, airport pickups? The answer is no. This is a community effort in collaboration with many community partners under the umbrella of Be Howdy and student organization. The service is free. The only thing that you have to do is to reserve your airport pickup in advance, and the registration, the reservation will be open beginning mid-November, as I mentioned previously. Now, somebody's asking about the U.S. Social Security. Thank you for asking that. The Social Security number, that's a national identity number. That's a very important piece in the culture of the United States as a whole, and as a official identity for anybody in the United States. Social Security number is not required for international students, so you may not expect to have a Social Security number unless you are going to be working on campus or pursuing an paid internship or practical training that may require to have a Social Security. If that's the case, UT Dallas has the infrastructure and the guidance for each one of you to apply for the Social Security number, which basically has to be endorsed by the host institution, in this case, UT Dallas, or your immigration visa. So for us to be able to present to before the U.S. authority, in this case, Social Security Authority, the case, your case, and then you can request, apply for your Social Security number to be able to perform your paid duties on campus and or off campus in case you're pursuing an off-campus internship practical training. Okay, so, but in general, if you're not working, you're not expecting to have a Social Security number. You already have other types of ID numbers based on the immigration process that you are pursuing to obtain your corresponding immigration attend UT Dallas. Regarding vaccination, is there any other vaccination for somebody who is over 22 years age? That's a good question, and certainly that is a specific question for the Student Health Center. Once you're here, you certainly you had to meet the requirement of the TB test, and that will be a good moment for you to present that question. In principle, you may obtain the support, the guidance, and the free service from the Student Health Center regarding vaccination, because even if you are not required to obtain or to have a specific vaccination, welcome to take advantage of Student Health Center services to have vaccinations that you want. It could be the opportunity for you to have, for instance, a guidance related to the booster for COVID, for instance, or any other relevant vaccination that you want to have during your time at UT Dallas. So I invite you to contact the Student Health Center, present that question, and to present your specific individual circumstances for them to provide you individual guidance. Thank you. Somebody's asking about where to find the pre-arrival models. As I mentioned, pre-arrival models is the first component of a successful completion of international student orientation. You can find the pre-arrival models in e-learning. If you don't know exactly what UT Dallas, and search for e-learning, log in, and then go to organizations. You will find a column. The main menu of e-learning will be on the left of your screen. And right there, you will find the tile of organizations. Click there, and then you will be able to see on the right pre-arrival models. Click there and you will be able to see each one of these modules. You will have to complete module 1, pass quiz, be able to have access to the next module and so on until the end, that once you pass successfully all quizzes from pre-arrival modules, a certificate of completion will be displayed with your name and with 100% score. Thank you. Somebody's asking if I can use my Indian license for the first few months, or I need to get a US license as soon as I land. Well, since United States and specifically Texas is going to be your destination for the next few years in case of undergraduate students 4 years, masters 2 years, and doctoral students at least 4 or 5 years, we highly encourage you to obtain a US licensed driver. So don't wait. Certainly, if there is a specific collaboration between United States and India regarding driver license of drivers to be used here as a visitor, you will welcome to use your Indian licensed driver. But don't wait, don't wait. Since you'll be here for some time, for a few years, we highly encourage you to obtain the US driver's license. As soon as you're here, that implies to study very well the manual of the US driver's license and also to pass a driving test. And then you will have the opportunity to obtain that official document, ID document, US ID document, and certainly to be able to obtain your corresponding car insurance. In that respect, if you drive your own car, please don't forget, you need to drive your car along with the corresponding car insurance because that's mandatory, is expected by law here in the United States. As a matter of fact, I would like to mention that UT Dallas Intercultural Programs, in addition to the international student orientation, will be offering some optional tours and presentations with you to complement the in-person international student orientation. And that is going to happen on Friday, January the 3rd. And that will be in consecutive way. They have been organized, preparing that way for all of you, beginning with the first tour, which will be again on Friday, January the 13th, from 10 to 11 US Central Time, and that will be McDermott Library Tour. This is in collaboration with the McDermott Library and our colleagues from the library. They were so happy and delighted to host this tour for only international students, sharing best practice relevant for the academic and cultural success of UT or international students at UT Dallas. After that tour, from 10 to 11, the Office of Information Technology, OIT, will be presenting a very customized information only for international students from 11 to 12 p.m. in the auditorium of the McDermott Library. So you don't have to go somewhere else. Within that building, there will happen the Office of Information Technology presentation customized again only for international students from 11 to 12 p.m. Be ready for some giveaways because the McDermott Library, OIT office presentation as well, they will be ready to give some symbolic gifts to encourage your participation and for you to learn how each one of these offices or units here on campus can help you again to enhance your academic and cultural success. And then we'll providing you an hour for lunch from 12 to 1, and that will be on your own. But then from 1 to 2 p.m., University Recreation will be hosting a tour only for international students from 1 to 2 p.m. And then you will be learning from the great programs and services that University Recreation may provide for you, including classes of yoga, aerobics, swimming, basketball, volleyball, and certainly all the amazing sport infrastructure that they have for you. That will happen in the University Recreation headquarters. That information as well of this optional tours and presentation is reflected in the webpage of Intercultural Programs at UT Dallas in the section of International Student Orientation. And also, we're in the process, we're in collaboration, in conversations with the authorities of the Texas driver license for them to give a presentation precisely in alignment with this question that I just asked related to the US driver license to students to ensure that you have the complete and helpful access and the understanding of the process, how to obtain the US driving license and why it's important if you are expected to be driving around to have the US driver's license. So please join us in these optional tours and presentations on Friday, January the 13th. Information in the webpage. If somebody's asking if there will be any difference between orientation happening in December versus January, no. Content will be the same. We want to ensure that everybody has the same information and we're together, we're on the same page to be successful on campus together. Do I need a social security number to work on campus? The answer is yes. As I mentioned, I explained, if you're applying for a campus job, the Career Center in collaboration with the unit, the campus unit that is going to expect to hire you, they will be facilitating the paperwork and the process for you to apply for a social security number to be able to work on campus. What will happen if somebody is not attending in-person the in-person international student orientation and actually just at landing or arriving to the UT Dallas campus a couple days before the beginning of the academic program. We don't recommend that, okay? I think if you want to ensure that you have a solid and sustainable beginning, successful academic and cultural beginning at UT Dallas, please arrive at least 1 week before the beginning of the semester, because there are several institutional requirements, including international student orientation, TB tests, a meeting with your academic advisor, and many others that you need to ensure that they are successfully completed for you to start the semester spring 2023. If you land in 2 days before the semester, it will be overwhelming, it will be challenging, and you may be behind your classes because you need to ensure that your TB test is going to be negative for you to be allowed to attend your classes, your academic classes. So don't do that. Our recommendation is that you change your plans, reschedule, and to ensure that you are here 1 week before the beginning of the academic semester, the spring 2023. If for some reason it's not possible for you to make change for your travel plans, let us know. And then we'll provide a specific individual guidance in that respect, in particular, in the case of intercultural programs at UT Dallas regarding the completion of the international student orientation. But we highly encourage you that you arrive at least 1 week before the beginning of the semester to prevent unnecessary stress in your beginning the semester at UT Dallas, beginning your academic program at UT Dallas. there's a question here, when exactly we'll be able to register for classes? So, as I mentioned, there is no specific date. In terms of the academic calendar, next week, I recall, it will be the beginning of registration for spring 2023. So it could happen anytime, beginning next week. However, for new international students, and in general, not only for new international students, for new students at UT Dallas, each one of them will have to have this conversation with their corresponding academic advisor to be able to register classes. Okay, so there is no specific date. What is required is communication and together between you and your academic advisor to determine what will be the best portfolio of classes for your schedule for the spring 2023. Keeping in mind that as international student, you are expected to maintain a full-time enrollment. For undergraduate students, that means at least 12 credit hours, which means about 4 classes. And for graduate students, at least 9 credit hours, which means about 3 classes. So be proactive, contact your academic advisor, have those conversations, and then be able to register for classes. How to apply for on-campus jobs? Good question. Visit the Career Center, UT Dallas Career Center, University Career Center, UCC, and then you will find plenty of information, ABCD, in terms of how to apply, the different resources, the guidance, the mentorship that many of the advisors from the Career Center can give you to ensure that you have a successful application for campus jobs. And be proactive. Don't think that is going to happen from one day into another. Right now, your priority is to arrive to UT Dallas successfully, to meet all the academic and administrative requirements to begin your academic program at UT Dallas, and then you will have the access to all these resources, including a University Career Center, where you'll find the guidance and the mentorship to apply for campus jobs. Well, since it's coming the winter break, somebody's asking if the UT Dallas, if UT Dallas will be available to help. Great question. Thank you for asking. The winter break for us is a moment where including faculty and administrators like us, will be taking basically a few days off. That will happen between December the 22nd and January the 3rd, the 2nd, all right? It's basically a week. And so the answer, the university will be closed. So any questions or any inquiry, please send, please share with us or with the corresponding officer or unit around the campus before or after the winter break. If you go to the webpage of UT Dallas, you can search for the academic calendar, and there you will find the specific days of this winter break. But again, as I mentioned, will be from December the 22nd to January the 2nd, basically. The 3rd, actually. So please be proactive. Certainly don't try to send your questions, inquiries, just one before the winter break or 1 or 2 days after the winter break. Be proactive to present any doubt, any question with plenty of time of advance before the winter break and for a few days after the winter break to ensure that we can provide you the guidance that you're required. In the case of intercultural programs, based on the nature of our daily routine, which is serving international students, and especially in this case, international students, we'll be able to monitor communications during the winter break and when appropriate to be able to provide guidance and support to new international students if the case requires that attention. So somebody from Intercultural Programs will be there monitoring the ICP programs at UT Dallas .edu and will be able to provide search guidance when is appropriate for that specific email. All right. All right, well, it's 10:30, so thank you very much for attending. I would like again the Director of Global Engagement, Ms. Leticia Samaripa, my colleagues, Anthony Cahill and Ms. Raven Battles, Intercultural Programs Coordinators, who have been presenting a very helpful information for all of you. And certainly, I would like to mention as well the participation, and with gratitude, the participation of Mohammed Suhail Khan, is international peer advisor here at UT Dallas, a student worker. Mohammed is an international student. Mohammed Suhail is international student like you, and he is helping us on a daily basis in the routine of intercultural programs. We're so grateful having Suhail with us and providing the technical support behind the scenes for this virtual information session. And certainly for all of you, thank you. Thank you for participating. And we hope that this session has been helpful and you have tangible elements, tools for you to keep elaborating in a strategic way your transition from your home communities to the UT Dallas community. If you have additional questions, comments, recommendations, please send us an email, icpprograms@utdallas.edu, and we look forward to seeing you next week. And in this session, virtual information session, Wednesday, November the 9th, from 9 to 10 a.m. The title of this virtual information session next week, Paying Your Tuition and Fees, where we'll be in the Bursar's office, whose officers will be providing very helpful information about how to pay tuition and fees, how to transfer resources from foreign countries to the United States, and specifically to UT Dallas accounts to cover tuition and fees, and many other aspects to really ensure that you have an optimal and successful management of your financial resources at UT Dallas, including the payment of tuition and fees. Thank you. See you next week.